to call to order the Nantucket School Committee meeting of Tuesday, June 3rd. This is my first meeting as chair, so I appreciate the showing of admin. Thank you. I know that's why you're here. I would like to thank my fellow board members and also Chantal Blois Murphy is vice chair, and Esmeralda Martinez continues her role as secretary. So thank you. I'd like to make the announcement also that this meeting is being audio and video recorded. So may I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And I'd like to open up for public comment. No takers tonight? Okay. Then we will move on to the superintendent's update.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. We'll start with enrollment. For the month of June, we are up by one student from 1,724 students to, up by to 1,724 from 1,723. There has been no change in enrollment at NES. We have one fewer student at NIS. We have one more student at CPS, and then one more student at the high school. Our registration, our new student registration will close this Friday so that any new students who will come after will be enrolled in the next school years, as is the usual habit. So, our school committee meeting dates, let's take a look at that. We have that in our packet. You will notice that they are, as tradition goes, on the first and third Tuesday of each month. We have two tentative dates in July and in August for a one meeting per month. Summer retreat on the 22nd and then a regular meeting on August 19th. September, October are normal months. When we get to November, however, we are requesting one meeting as opposed to two. The November 1st Tuesday of the month is always voting day, and it's a bit challenging, so we were hoping to reduce that to one meeting per month, obviously at your approval. December is the same. January is also the same, first and third Tuesday of the month. February, we would also like to reduce to one meeting in the month because of the vacation week. It tends to be a lighter meeting, and so we believe we can get our business done within one meeting, but again, that's up to the committee to decide upon. In the month of March, we have shifted to the second and fourth Tuesdays, simply because our vacation week comes right up to the first week of March, and it's challenging sometimes to have presentations prepared ahead of time, people ready to go, especially if we have any teacher or student presentation. So we are requesting to go on March 10th and March 24th. I do realize that I need to check in with NCTV to make sure that we do have the ability to broadcast those days, but it would make things a lot easier for everyone for that. April, we go to one meeting a month, and then May and June will return to first and third Tuesdays. So this is a proposal, certainly can open up for discussion if you wish through the chair.
Anyone have any comments?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with almost everything. March of 26 on the second and fourth Tuesday of the month. My wife only allows me to do school committee because the Land Bank Commission meetings are the second and fourth Tuesday of the month. She might have to do that for her work, so I might end up having to miss one or both of those.
I'm sure we'll be okay with that. Of course, the chair can fill you in if necessary.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Do we know when town meeting's going to be?
My assumption is that it will be in May, most likely the Saturday, either the first Saturday of May or the second Saturday of May. That's my guess. So,
Well, we can confirm that and
yes.
go from there, but I don't see a problem other than that's no.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
So we will put these in and have them posted. Thank you.
Great.
Okay. End of year activities. we are almost done with our MCAS testing. This week is the final test, and that's the high school science administration, which will happen tomorrow and Thursday. And then that's it. It's on to the finish line. Seniors' last day of school this year is on Friday, June 6th. There will be a senior breakfast on Friday morning. You're welcome to come if you'd like and wish our seniors well. The next week, graduation activities kick right in with graduation rehearsal, which will be on Wednesday and Thursday mornings, June 10th and 11th. The baccalaureate service for seniors, their parents and their teachers, and of course school committee, school committee are welcome. That will be at 6 p.m. On Thursday, June 12th at the Congregational Church. Graduation will happen on Friday, June 13th at 5 p.m. With the senior parade happening right away after that. We assume that the potential starting time is 7 p.m. Yes. Rehearsal Friday, not Thursday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So there's an additional graduation rehearsal on Friday morning as well. So 10th, 11th, and 12th. No, 11th, 12th, and 13th. Thank you. Sorry about that. Okay, very good. Short rehearsal on Friday. Those seniors will be ready to rock. The keynote for the graduation this year is Casey Neistat. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. He's a famous YouTuber and vlogger, and he is well known in the Nantucket summer residents. So, our pre-K promotion ceremony will be on Monday, June 16th at 9:30 a.m. And kindergarten promotion will be on Tuesday, June 17th at 9:45 a.m. And then the grade 8 promotion ceremony will be on Friday, June 20th at 9 a.m. CPS will be holding a community service day on the half day, June 23rd. I think that's a great idea. And then June 23rd, as mentioned, is a half day. Our dismissal for all students and teachers and TAs will be at 12 p.m. I certainly am looking in the crowd to see if I've made any errors or missed anything. And Nora, I hope I didn't steal any of your thunder. I will make sure that this is in a document sent to all of you so that you have it in one document. You don't have to take all the notes. So, and that's it.
Great. Any questions? Anyone? Comments?
If I may, through the chair, if you are planning to attend graduation, please let me know so that we can make sure you have a seat reserved. So,
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Great.
Thank you. Now we'll move on to presentations and discussions of issues to the committee. We will start with Nantucket Special Education Parent Advisory Council from Suzanne Franzuto.
I'll try not to mess up the keyboard here. Yes, I'm Suzanne Franzuto, one of the co-chairs of the ACT-CPAC, along with Laura Steele, who's making her way back from the United Kingdom and can't be here to share this with me this evening. So for those who don't know what CPAC is, we're a parent-driven organization. We're small but mighty. And we're located within the school district, and all school districts in Massachusetts are required to have a CPAC. And what we do is we advise, and we're supposed to advise the district on issues pertaining to programs and policies that affect students receiving special education and other related services. And we also advocate for parents. And, I have to say it every time, Deb Gately's a godsend. She's like with us there, if we need something, and she's always advising us, and we really love working with her. So I'm going to share a few highlights from our meetings this year, and then give a little tour of where we're going in the future. One of the big things that the school district did for us this year is they got us a membership to MassPAC. So we're now members of the parent organization, and we're able to do leadership trainings, participate in webinars. We can go to other CPAC meetings. They come to ours when we offer things. And it's just kind of opened up what we can do and just see what other organizations are doing. We hosted an info table at Family Night when Deb Gately and Michelle David rolled out the new IEP. And we gained a few families, but it was kind of overshadowed by the Aspen login night, because more parents came to learn how to get onto Aspen than actually came to the IEP meeting. we hosted a basic rights workshop through the Federation for Children with Special Needs, which the district is required to hold every year. And we did have parents from other towns join in on ours. We collaborated with Upper Cape Cod Tech via Zoom on a Turning 18 webinar. And it was very well attended. They had people there from all the adult services, DDS, Mass Ability, DMH, CORD, so that parents know what's coming next. Because when your child turns 18, they go to the emergency room or something, and the doctors don't have to tell you anything. So you need to know what's coming down the pike and prepare yourself, whether it's like a healthcare proxy or something like that. Early February, Jen Christensen, who's a transition specialist at the high school, did a fantastic presentation on post-college programs and what's out there for students who may not be able to access college in the traditional way, and focus on the three-pronged goals: academic, social, and vocational. And it also says like which ones are kind of like paid for, let's say until you're 22, and which ones you're out there on your own. Some are degree granting, some are just for the vocational experience and the academic experience of living on a college campus. And lastly, Dr. Hallett discussed potential changes to or dissolution of the Department of Education and how it may affect our schools and our students receiving special education services. So some of the challenges we've had are, we're not the only CPAC that has them. It's attendance. It's getting families to participate. They want the information, and it's not that they, it's like, oh, the meetings aren't important, but a lot of them are tapped out by the end of the day. Maybe they're working. They've got, children, they've got homework, bedtime, bath time. They've got other siblings who may be participating in sports. And so we continue to do the hybrid. So they can Zoom in, and we're also looking at something different, a different format for next year. The second challenge is not new. I'm kind of like beating a dead horse. It's the website. And, Deb says she doesn't know when it's going to be switched over, but it's horribly outdated. And so when people come, like a new family or something, and they're looking for information or a resource, and they're looking at something from years ago, it's not a good look. And it makes us, and I know that there's a lot more important issues than our website and things like that, but, and I know it's coming, but I just don't know when. So one of the things that we're going to do next year is, instead of having monthly meetings, we're going to have every other month meetings. And in the off months, we'll hold our Uncommon Parents, which is the parent group where parents can stay after the regular meeting and talk about, talk freely about if they have something going on at the school that they're not happy with, or a challenge with their child. And historically, it's taken place after the regular meeting, so it's not starting till 7:30, and that's kind of late, getting late. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold those meetings off-site, because we've heard some parents that it's kind of like, even though there's no admin or anything like that around, it's school, and they don't feel that they can talk freely. So we're going to hold those meetings off-site and hold them a little bit earlier to try to get more parents, and we've even discussed having childcare available. And we've always sent out a welcome letter every year, introducing the officers and, our meeting dates and everything. But it goes out with all those other school forms, the bus, the lunch, everything, the sign-ups, and parents get overwhelmed and things get set aside. So Deb's suggestion is that we, instead of doing that we do a one-pager, like a flyer, and it'll be handed out at initial IEP meetings, it'll be handed out open house, because we're at all the open houses, and things like that. Because one of the things we want to do is increase our visibility in the community outside of the school mailings. The school does a great job, but we need to do more ourselves to get our voice out there. Laura Steele and I trained through the Federation this year in a program called Parents Helping Parents. And what it does is it matches parents. Like parents will call the federation and say, you know, my child, this is their disability, their diagnosis. And I'm having these challenges. I'm new to this. I need some resources, and they'll match them with the parent who has a child with a similar diagnosis. And so we're kind of like a support, short-term support. We provide resources, refer them to the federation. If they need more, then we can provide. And we've been fairly constant with that, so we're going to replicate that here. So that parents, you know, will have a number and an email that parents can call us, and we can just be like, you know, hey, you know, we've walked that before, and we can walk it with you. And lastly, we have a big ask of the school committee. One of the duties of a CPAC, according to Massachusetts state law, is to advise the school committee on matters that pertain to the education and safety of students with disabilities. So simply put, we'd like you to consider granting us a seat at the table. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions? Vince? Esmeralda?
No questions, thank you.
Thank you.
Chantal?
I do have a question about the website. Maybe we can get them an answer as to when we can expect a new website, or at least an update to the pages that they've suggested.
If I may, our ed tech director will be coming up, and she can at least share a little bit about the progress at the next. We're getting very, very close. So.
And thank you for all the work you do.
So, Suzanne, so when you say a seat at you mean a seat at this table?
Right, even doesn't have to be in a voting capacity, but CPACs, under the law, they do have a representative on the school committee.
Thank you. I also, when you say that that parents get together sort of post-meeting, is that facilitated by anyone, or is that more of a sharing out among parents?
It's more of a sharing out with, like typically what happens is we close the regular meeting, any admin leaves, and then it's just parents and, you know, maybe they have an issue with something that they're not happy with, and something that they have a question about, and it's, you know, so you can just kind of like let it out. And just
Right.
vent, yeah. Or just ask for a solution, yeah.
And then are those comments brought anywhere after that? In terms of, is there any kind of?
Something like, let's say if someone said, oh, like, you know, my kid, you know, missed some services or something. And, you know, I don't know what's going on, you know, they don't have anybody in place or whatever. Then we just take that back to Deb,
Right.
so that she's aware of it.
Great. And then I'm just curious, have you ever had speakers that come in?
We do.
Yeah, and how frequently does that happen?
At least 3, maybe 4 times a year.
Okay. Because that's something that would be interesting to get out there and see if that kind of brings more people in. Just,
And a lot of them
often.
will appear via Zoom, so,
right.
yeah, so people don't have to come out. I think after COVID, people got used to being
Yeah, on that Zoom
being at
screen.
home.
Thank you, Suzanne, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And next we will have the English Language Learner Department update from Barbara Cohen, Director of English Language Learners.
Is mine down here? Am I only going with your app? Okay, there we go. Okay. All right. How do I make this slideshow? The dot. Yes, thank you. Yep. Got it. Thank you. All right, hi, good evening. So I presented to you on December 3rd of 2024 an update for the program, and I was asked to give you an update to the update. So it's mostly going to be about access testing and seal by literacy and a few other things coming up. So just as a reminder, in the English language program, there are 6 proficiency levels, and students enter at a level 1, which would be a complete beginner. Level 2 is emerging, which is considered maybe like a high beginner, and level 3, developing, is like an intermediate level, and then 4 to 5 would be like high intermediate to advanced. Students exit services when they reach a 4.2 in overall proficiency, meaning listening, speaking, reading, and writing, and a 3.9 in literacy. So they don't go all the way up to a 5. And I just wanted to draw your attention to the spacing there in this graphic between a 2 and a 4. Students generally reach a level 3 or like an intermediate level, and that's a pretty common plateau, because there's a wide range in that proficiency level. And they are able to do quite a bit of coursework at the higher level, in the middle to higher level 3s, until they reach 4.2 when they exit. So we got our access results in April, and we have, out of 389 English learners, 352 students tested this year. At the high school, 86 tested and 10 students exited, meaning they reached that level of 4.2 or higher and a level 3.9 proficiency or higher. CPS, 56 students tested and 10 exited. NIS, 81 tested and 22 exited. And at NES, 129 tested and 5 exited. And we had 10 students take the alternate access, which is students who are more significant special needs, so that they're unable to attend or take the standard test. We also have, so out of those students, out of the total number of students, 389, 374 of those students are in active services. 130 are former English learners, and 15 are opt-outs. So the 15 opt-outs would have taken the test, but not the 130 former learners. So a total of 47 students have exited this year. In this graphic, you can see the proficiency levels of our current Ls according to this data, and as I said, that level 3 is where we find the most students, because it's a real plateau there. So, and we have 6 students really entered the advanced stage. 60 were in the expanding stage, that level 4 stage, and so that's where we would see our students who exited. And then we have that further broken down by schools. So I wanted to comment also that Department of Education has a goal set for districts that students will exit services within 6 years. So while we don't see a lot of we had a couple of students exit at NES, but that's normal, that's natural. That they have the majority of our English learners, and they come in and they're beginning at their language proficiency, and they're beginning literacy. So we don't expect to see a lot of students exiting in NES. NIS we see more, because again, you're going to hit that 5 to 6 year mark with those students. So we do have higher numbers of students who exit there. And then at CPS, similarly, higher numbers of students who exit, because again, they're within that 6 year range. And at NHS, we have proportionately fewer students who exit, but I think that we can understand that when we look at high school, there's extenuating circumstances that come into play with our students, in that they might be working outside of school, so they're less likely to have the same motivation and or energy for school. They might also have, if they've been struggling, if they're struggling readers or struggling with academics, they might have, some issues with their social emotional aspect of learning. And we have a lot of newcomers who come into CPS and NHS as well. And when students come in at that age, it's a real limited time offer to reach proficiency and also in literacy. So that's our access performance this year. And then I wanted to talk about the Seal by Literacy. This is super exciting. Our program for our Seal by Literacy is growing. We had, sorry, I have my slides in a different order. We had World languages that we tested in were Spanish, Portuguese, Russian, Polish, and Bulgarian this year. And the qualifying scores to earn the seal of biliteracy are an MCAS score of 472 or higher. And if they don't reach that MCAS score, they can have, and they're English learners, they can exit services. So again, that 4.2, 3.9, that's a qualifying score. And then in the world language test, we have three different service providers for the world language tests. The Apple test is for Spanish, Portuguese, Russian, and students have to get an I-5, which is an intermediate 5 or an advanced 1 to qualify for the seal. And the ACTFL test is for students of Polish and Bulgarian. It's actually a over-the-phone interview and a writing test, and they need to score an IH, an intermediate high, or an advanced low to earn the seal for that style of test. And then we have some students who take the test to certify for the seal of biliteracy in the Bulgarian language school, and that they use the Sofia University, and that score needs to be a B1 or a B1 plus. So we have students who have earned the seal in all of those languages and at those scores. Currently, I'm testing only juniors and seniors because it has to be somewhat fresh to earn the seal, and also just the capacity to test that many students. So this year, 49 students took a world language assessment in total. 2 of our students dropped out and chose not to do it. One didn't take it at all, and one took it and chose not to retest. And those were our first language English students. And I'm hoping that we can grow that population with our students who go through our world language program, either in Spanish or also Latin. It's also offered in Latin. They offer a seal of biliteracy for an assessment in Latin. So I'd like to see that grow. 22 seniors this year earned the seal, and they'll be honored at graduation with cords. And one student, one of our seniors, earned the seal in both Spanish and Portuguese, and we have a possibility of another student next year earning the seal in Spanish and Russian. So it's very exciting when when we're seeing trilingual students. And 5 seniors still have been offered retests. I've heard from 2 of them, so I'm not sure if they'll be opting to take it. This is completely voluntary, right? So I'm encouraging them, since they've got scores that it's usually just one domain that they might have fallen short in, and they have to retest for that. So we have 10 juniors this year who earned the seal. They will be honored next year at graduation with cords, and hopefully we'll have some others who come forward to take the test for next year. But I think the word's getting out, it's growing, and it's very exciting to see. And it's great. It's great news for us. And let's see, beyond the seal of biliteracy, the EL department happenings this year and next, we are in a compliance review year, and we received our draft report from the Department of Education. So that's the Department of Education, Secondary and Elementary Education Tiered Focus Monitoring draft report. It has come out, and we are going to present it to the administrative team next week, and we've been cited for some things that we will have to attend to in a corrective action plan next year and ongoing. This year, our entire ESL team was able to go to MATSAL, which was very exciting. We have, I believe, 4 veteran teachers who have attended the MATSAL conference. That's the Massachusetts Association of Teachers of Speakers of Other Languages, the conference. And it's held annually in May in Framingham. And this year, 4 of our veteran teachers had been in the past, but not for 10 years. So it was very exciting to bring the whole team. And I wrote a grant for that, so we were able to do that. The grant awarded was $7,800, and then we had to add to that to be able to take them. But it was really exciting for 2 days. It was great to see them. It was wonderful, the collegiality, and I think they really were motivated and inspired. So that was exciting. Staffing, we're going to have 2 new ESL teachers next year. We have 2 teachers on their way out, and I believe the high school's hired 1 teacher already, and the elementary school will be interviewing soon. We continue with our sheltered English immersions / instruction training and refreshers for content teachers at the middle school and high school. We continued that this year, and we will continue that next year. And then we are going to embark on a co-teaching pilot. I would like to see our programming move toward co-teaching so that our students are staying in the classroom and getting the language support they need in the general ed classroom. So we have some co-teaching classes already happening at the middle school and at the high school, but we're going to roll that out at the elementary. And I'm calling it a pilot because I'm hoping that we'll have 2 teachers at each elementary who will co-teach an ELA with a content teacher to support our language development for our English learners. I think it's especially, it's going to be especially important at the early elementary because our kindergartners and first graders, it's the transition time when they go out of a class and have, set small group lessons somewhere else. They lose a lot of time there, and so I think it'll be really great for them to develop a better understanding of what it means to be a student and the flow of the classroom by having that support inside. So that's it for the EL department. Do you have any questions?
Great, thank you. Vince?
Yes, thank you. I got 2 if you don't mind.
No, please.
So, the first is just, I think I just got it wrong in my mind. Students can qualify out when they get to, what is it, 4.2 for literacy and 3.9 for something else?
Opposite.
Ah.
So 4.2 overall, meaning it's an average of their listening, speaking, reading, and writing scores, and then 3.9 is their literacy. So
3.9 is the literacy.
when you consider that on a scale of 6 as native speaker speech, they're exiting, and they must exit. The Department of Education said they must exit because they tend to do better immersed in a classroom with English speakers. So, but you can see they still have a ways to go.
Oh, yeah. No, totally understood. I didn't quite hear it properly myself. My literacy was not quite there, apparently. For the second one, so first of all, before I finish on the English language learners, probably my single favorite program.
Yes,
Just so
thank you.
I
Oh,
think
thank you.
that's brilliant.
Mine too.
Right. For the seal of biliteracy, I was very impressed by that, and it's lovely that there are so many languages available. I'm impressed that it says world languages, but the 5 languages are European. Just amused
Yes.
me. Then that raised a question for me. Is there any hope for any other languages, such as an Asian language like Chinese or Mandarin Chinese or Japanese?
Yes, those all
There is?
exist. We
Perfect.
just haven't had students request them.
Ah.
I actually am. I believe I have found a provider of patois, so I would like to sort of be able to offer that to our Jamaican students. But the world language assessments exist in lots of languages, and the more common the language, it's that Apple test that tests all 4 domains. The less common languages tend to be the over-the-phone interviews with a writing component. Yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah, it's exciting. It's very exciting. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Esmeralda?
Actually, I do have a question. The seal of biliteracy, is it a course offered, or it's just a test that they have to take?
So it's a world language assessment that they have to take, and it's similar to Access in that it tests 4 domains of the language, and there's no class for it. There's no necessary preparation for it. So for the students who have a different keyboard, we do have them download that in advance and practice using the keyboard for writing, because even Portuguese, there's a lot of different letters and things, and obviously Russian and Polish. And I was able to secure, thanks to Stephanie's help, I was able to secure some keyboard covers for those languages. So I think as we walk through this, we're refining the process, and it's getting better and better. But the preparation for Spanish would be Spanish language class. And I would love to see some kids take it in Latin. I know the Latin program at the high school is really popular, but I haven't had anybody come forward to ask for it yet. You're welcome.
Chantal?
I'm curious if you've had any students that exit the program once they're in like the regular classrooms, if they have any regression where they have to go back in.
Thank you. That's a great question. So when a student exits the program, when they reach a 4.2 and a 3.9 in literacy, they are monitored for 4 years.
Okay.
And that means that a form is sent to their teachers. So if they're at the middle or high school, all of their content teachers get this form. Or if they're at the elementary, their grade level teacher gets a form. And it's a basic form just saying how are they doing in their speaking and listening, and how are they doing in their reading and writing, and do you recommend that they need support. So if I had one situation, I believe it was this fall, I think it was last fall. A student who was also duly identified, special needs and EL, and they, in the IEP process, it was requested that they get some small group support through their ESL classroom. They had developed a great rapport with the teacher, and they performed differently in that small group than in the larger group. And part of that was because of their personal cognitive needs. But it is possible. I haven't, other than that, I haven't had anybody say the student really needs more support and they should receive services again. But that is, it is developed that way so that for 4 years, there's a check on them to see if they have this, the skills they need, the language proficiency they need. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tim? Nora? Thank you very
Thanks.
much.
Sure. Thank you.
And last but not least, we have our technology update from Stephanie Hoban, Director of Educational Technology.
Thank you for having me. So we will give you what I've been doing in my first year here at Nantucket Public Schools. My biggest focus has been on hardware and security. Is going to be what we're talking about first. So the big focus has been on security in all different ways. So I'm going to go through each of the elements of security that we've been dealing with, and both for this year and in the future. So firewall and filtering kind of go hand in hand. So we've added or turned on the security features on the firewall, and we've also added geo-IP blocking. So geo-IP blocking, which has been recommended by both our managed service provider and the cybersecurity Danny Jordan from the town, blocks every country except the United States. This, of course, causes some issues with teachers because the websites that they had traditionally been able to go to, they have to request whitelisting of. The teachers have been unfailingly patient about it, and it is, again, I have two cybersecurity experts telling me that that is the way to go, so that is one of the biggest features that we've done, because the bad guys live everywhere. Unfortunately, I was like, what about Canada? Nice Canada. And they were like, no, not even Canada. So I'm listening to them. The other thing that we've done is ensured filtering for all the networks. Previously, the networks, not all of the networks were filtered because the bifurcation of the network based on the ransomware that happened because of the ransomware, or as a result of the ransomware, I should say. So we've turned on the filtering appliance, which is now filtering all traffic through the network, and again, has created some issues for teachers because, again, the sites that they used to be able to go to have been blocked and now need to be whitelisted. And we've also just enacted stricter filtering rules across the board. And again, all in an effort to ensure safety. The other way we're going to ensure safety is by multi-factor authentication. So after the ransomware attack, we brought in the Duo tokens for multi-factor authentication for the laptops, but all of the desktops don't have it. So we have been working to get all of the desktops, which are important because they are the things that the secretaries, front offices are using for our student information system, so all of our student information is on there. Student information is like gold on the dark web because a student who is 5 years old, if they can get that student's social security number, they can use it for 18, 20 years before the student or anyone is aware that they have it. So we have to make sure, all of our efforts are to make sure that that is safe and secure. And they are targeting schools because of that, schools are a prime target. We've also instituted a single sign-on for Aspen, again, where a lot of our student information lives. And then next year, we'll be doing a multi-factor authentication for all the staff Google accounts and all the student Google accounts. And again, that is the best way to prevent a breach, because you can do a break force of a password, but you can't, if you have to hit the number 58 or put in that code, there's no way around that. I know, this is exciting stuff. The other thing we've really been working on is the student data privacy. We are a member of the Student Data Privacy Consortium, which is a collaborative of school districts in Massachusetts and really nationwide now, who enforce privacy policies with companies. So when I first started in ed tech, it was like the Wild West. And the notion was, if the product is free, then you are the product. And that pretty much still holds true. So you're either the product by they're somehow taking your data, or it's ads, ads, ads. Student Data Privacy Consortium has a lawyer who works with the company to sign a contract on our behalf to prevent that from happening. So before I got here, we weren't really doing it, and so now we've worked so that all the websites we at least pay for are part of the Student Data Privacy Consortium, or we've encouraged people not to use them. We are still working on this. This is going to be an ongoing, we're never going to be done. It's just going to be an ongoing as new sites pop up and people want to use new sites. And unfortunately, again, it has created some issues for teachers and staff because the sites that they used to be able to use aren't part of the student data privacy, have refused to sign the contract. So, but again, teachers have been really great about it all, understanding, I think, that this is very important. And we've hired 2 managed service providers. One is Northeast Technologies, so they will be reviewing and co-managing all of our network systems. And we've also hired Logically Systems to manage the firewall. They're the ones we work with. This is all they do is firewalls. So, the firewall is your preeminent first line of defense. It has to be robust, and it has to be managed by people who understand that they're putting patches on and updating it appropriately. So I think with these 2 providers in hand, along with the actions that we've taken, we've done as much as we possibly can to ensure the safety of both our network and our student data. So our physical data, physical bodies protection, we've worked very hard along with Melissa Devitt to create training materials for the Raptor emergency response system. And Dave Evans has worked very hard to get all of the Raptor emergency badge systems created and working. And that is a physical safety issue. Okay, now we're going to talk about software, a little more fun than hardware. So I've introduced 2 district softwares. One is Learning Ally. So Google has now said that YouTube is not allowed for students under 14 years of age. So that obviously has created much consternation. So Learning Ally and Edpuzzle were 2 solutions to assist teachers not to use YouTube. What we found out when we blocked YouTube was that a lot of teachers were using YouTube for read aloud books. So Learning Ally is a phenomenal program that has accessible human-read audiobooks for all students. And so this teacher just has to identify them with a reading deficit, and they have a huge library of books for students to read. Then they could read them on any device. Edpuzzle allows teachers and students to create and customize interactive videos. So you would take a YouTube video, stick it into Edpuzzle, and then you can ask questions, responses, and look for responses, It's a great way to ensure that kids are A, watching the video, two, watching it thoughtfully, and it records all of those responses as well, so you have information about how well they understood the video. And it removes all of the distractions of YouTube, and it's legal, whereas sending a 11-year-old to YouTube is not. So finally, next year is our big AI, or this year was our big investigation of AI. So AI, obviously, artificial intelligence, is humongous and sweeping the world by storm, and both alarmingly easy to use and dangerously easy to use. So we formed an AI investigation team, I like to call it, to determine what was the best way to implement AI for the district. It is, again, the Wild West. Everyone in the world is now creating AI platforms, and the kids are all over it, everybody's all over it. So what we did was we chose an AI platform for classroom use, which will be School AI. This AI is going to be the only one that teachers can use with students. All other AI platforms for students will be shut off. So that the School AI, the benefit of School AI is a teacher has to create the prompt, or they call it a space, in order for the students to use it. So I could say, as a teacher, you are Abraham Lincoln telling this student about your life. And then the student will ask questions of Abe Lincoln. And the teacher will have a recording of all of what was said. So if a kid tries to go around it, or, get off track, the AI will say, feels like we're getting off track. What more do you want to know about Abe Lincoln? It's pretty amazing. Heather Ring, who was on the AI investigation team, used this with seniors and did a chatbot where they were asking the chatbot questions, and reported that the students didn't want to leave the room. They wanted to continue to talk to the chatbot. And we've heard from other schools that it's very useful for checking on a student's social and emotional well-being, because a lot of teachers will use it for exit tickets at the end of the week. How'd your week go? And the students will talk to the chatbot more easily than they'll talk to a guidance counselor or a teacher. And since the chatbot is recording, like keeping a record of everything that was said, it will flag if the child says something alarming and send an alert to the teacher. So we're hoping we chose wisely, but again, there's many, many, many platforms to use. So it was really great to have the team and the EdTech ILT all work together with me. We tested a bunch of different platforms, and it was great to have all that collaboration. AI will be the focus of the keynote next year, for next year's school opening, and with breakout sessions. And then the EdTech ILT next year will be offering tutorials and trainings on it as well. Okay, next year. So our big purchases is we are updating the phone system, which is pretty old, and it will have greater capacity. It's not very exciting, but one of the biggest things we need is we do need an upgraded announcement system. Mandy Hylam is going to be looking at me saying this, because the kids can't hear, the teachers can't hear when the announcements are being made. So we will be able to make announcements through the phone until we can get the next year's capital budget, when we ask for an updated speaker system. So that is going to be our bridge. Sounds good? That is going to be our bridge for that. We're also installing 53 new line panels, which will mean everyone in the district will have an interactive panel, whiteboard, whatever you want to call it. And the following year, we will do the high school's Clear Touch, will be moved into new line panels. We also have quite a significant update to the network for the high school and CPS. And we are also upgrading all of the laptops for staff and the Mac Lab. Thank you to the townspeople for approving our capital budget. Other projects, we are going to be updating the district communication tools, and we are looking at updating or even changing the filter for ease of use and more coverage. And again, as I said, we're rolling out the AI platform. Next year also, I want to just say that Joanne Johnson is going to be retiring at the end of this year. So we will have next year without Joanne. I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank her for all of her incredible years of service. And as a new person coming into the district, she has displayed just nothing but kindness and generosity to me. I know that her heart and soul lives in this district, and I know it's going to be, we are all going to feel a gigantic Joanne Johnson-shaped hole in the district. So I just wanted to take a moment to thank her for really, truly her kindness and welcomingness to me this year. It's a hard year. I came in, as you all know, broken, as I like to say, and she's just been great. But we are going to replace her job, her one job, with two jobs. It'll be we will have a network manager job and a database and information systems manager. So that isn't that always the way. One wicked hardworking woman gets replaced by two people. And finally, again, I want to take the opportunity to thank my ed tech department and the Nantucket staff for the kindness and welcome they've shown me all year. It has been a very just extraordinary experience this first year coming in. I can't tell you how kind everyone has been to me, from the students to the staff, to the grounds people, to the custodians. I get a hello and how are you at the yard sales. I get the, oh my gosh, you're the new tech director. So really, I can't imagine a place more welcoming and kind to someone coming in off the boat, literally. And I just wanted to say thank you to everybody involved. And that is what I have to say. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Stephanie. It feels like you've been here forever. I mean that in a good way. It really does. It's just like, yeah, here she is. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Questions? Vince?
Sure, yes,
Yeah.
thank you. So I guess we're back to literacy again, and when Katie sent us the packet and I got to see this, I just really appreciated the graphics.
Oh.
Childhood growing up reading comics, it'll get any kid into reading if they like comics. So that was just nice. I had a question about Edpuzzle.
Yes.
So just a misunderstanding again on my part probably. It can take in videos, customize them, and that's fine, but they come from YouTube, but YouTube is blocked.
Once you put it into Edpuzzle, it's not blocked anymore. Yep. It's magic. Yeah. Teachers can also create their own videos, and they can have students create their own videos as well.
Can they take in videos from other sources?
Yes, again.
Perfect.
Yep.
Great. Esmeralda?
I don't have any questions, just fantastic job.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Chantal?
I have a few questions, thank you. I'm curious, are you finding any issues with procuring the laptops or any of your new softwares and such with all of, and I guess, hard goods really, not the software?
Because of the
With
tariffs?
the tariffs?
No.
No? Okay.
I think
great.
I think the phones he just re-quoted me the phones today, so I haven't looked at it yet, but he has said they might be higher than the original quote that we got last July. But actually, we got a really good deal on the laptops, much kind of lower than I thought, to be honest. So no, I haven't found any problems with that, thank God.
That's good, that's good. How is the reception to the Raptor system been, the new Raptor system been?
I think the emergency, when people come in and have to sign in and have the visitor pass, I think that's been phenomenal. I think that the drill piece of it is a work in progress. It's a lot. There's a lot of moving parts to it, and it takes up a lot of time and has a lot of emotions around it, you know. So I think we just have to drill, so it becomes second nature to people.
Thank you. And then you said at the start of your presentation that you turned on the firewall features,
Security features.
security. So are you saying that they weren't?
I'm not quite sure. I'm not 100% certain.
Okay.
We'd done this with Logically. I had asked them to do a review of the firewall. They said, you have many features that haven't been turned on. Let's turn them on. And I was like, yes, let's
Yes.
turn them on.
Turn them all on.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. And then I'm curious with the MFAs, for those, are they going to be on? Are you doing them for every single device in the district, or access to like the internal systems?
Every single device. Well, I mean, not the servers, not the switches. So when you're saying devices, do you mean end user devices? Yes. We're doing it for every end user
That's great.
device. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you for all your work.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. I had a couple of questions. With the Student Data Privacy Consortium, that's a membership organization? So I took a peek around, so it looks like it is national.
Yes.
And so I'm just trying to,
It started in Massachusetts and it has grown out.
okay,
Yeah.
great. And then, so it sort of needs to receive that seal before it can be accessed?
Correct.
That's, okay.
Well, the teachers can access it whether or not it has the seal. We're not blocking things that aren't sealed because that we don't have a contract with. Ideally, if a teacher sees a website they want to look at or use with students, they would come to our website, look and see if it has the agreement in place, and if it doesn't, request an agreement.
I see.
So the way it works is you can piggyback off of another school's agreement. So say a bigger school like Newton might have a lot of agreements in place. And so we can just piggyback off of theirs, and it's called creating an Exhibit E. So we just legally piggyback off of their agreement and put it in place. But if there is no agreement in place anywhere in Massachusetts, then we say to the teacher, you can't use it until we get an agreement in place, which takes a long time.
Okay.
As you can imagine, because
Yeah.
some of the websites are very small. They're small companies. They don't have lawyers. They don't want to be bothered with it. They're just like, just trust us. We're not going to, actually, because I'm not a lawyer either, and I can't understand they have the privacy policies, but we have this, we pay into this, so I think it's best for us to use the tools that we have to keep our students safe.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. And then I looked also at the Learning Ally and so Edpuzzle is a Google product, right?
No.
It's not?
Nope.
Because I logged on as a Google user.
Yes, that just means your API has been allowed to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's not good. And then I thought Learning Ally was amazing,
Yeah,
actually.
Learning Ally is a
Just
great tool.
All the different books, I thought that was terrific. And then I just had a question, and I know that this is probably a little bit outside, but we talk about technology, and I just wonder who does attend to what happens in the auditorium in terms of sound and lighting?
It's a very good question.
Yeah.
One that I was going to actually talk to Beth and Martin about. Right now, Michelle who is the office manager for tech and for facilities, he takes all of the requests. He creates a spreadsheet when a request requires our attention. We need something turned on, we need something. Young Kevin, who's in the booth, generally is the person who does the auditorium. Jaime will do the LGI, and the different building techs will take care of their own buildings. If it's after hours, we request and we try to have young Kevin or Jaime or Jason meet during their work hours to set everything up and work with the person. I'm not sure if when now you're talking like the soundboard and the lights, we have nobody. Yep.
Okay,
The bigger auditorium issues, yeah.
yeah.
It's
And
kind
I
of
know that's
ad
a big
hoc.
nut. I
Yep.
know, it's a big nut. And then, so if, for instance, Nantucket Dance Festival, when they come in, they'll bring in their own lighting and sound?
Yeah, so at the end of the this month, we have it's like a comedy reading group, I think.
Film
That's-
Fest.
is it Film
Film,
Fest?
yeah.
And they're doing a
Their
reading.
round table.
A round table, yes. They are bringing in their own equipment. They are bringing in their own person. And they said, do you have anyone who can do the gobos? And I was like, no, I don't have anyone who can do the gobos. So bring your own gobo guy too. But
Yeah.
young Kevin will be there, just overseeing.
Okay, thank you very much. Tim?
I'll pass.
Nora?
No questions.
If I may.
Yeah.
I have two. One is a reminder about the website.
Oh, yes. I can actually show you a preview of the website if you'd like to see it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. You can see how I. Okay. Yeah, so this is a preview of the new website. I'm going basically school by school to, this is the district, so the district is done. All of the pages in the district are done. You guys can see yourself. Show you what we got. There you go. We probably have to update this. So all I've done is clean everything up and make it so that it's kind of all the same. Somebody else, once we unleash it to other people, are going to have to make sure that everything is accurate. Because again, I've only been here a year, so I'm not really sure what's accurate or what's not accurate. So we are very, very close to completing this. I have, the lady is gone, the CPAC lady. We have created a community notices that Katie wanted to do. Katie's done a lot of work on this, so that people can submit a community notice, and then it shows up. That's my picture of Nantucket. I was just testing it. So the community notice will show up there as well. And then we will have each of these are going to be district-wide, so that we'll have the same information for all of the schools and families. And then I've done most of the schools. I am in the middle of doing NIS. This is CPS. And so you can see we're very, very close. My goal is to have it rolled out by the end of the year. End of the school year. Any questions on the website?
On the community notices section, I'm assuming that those will get submitted and someone approves them, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
It's a free-for-all.
The free-for-all, yes.
You never know.
And I have one other
Yes.
request, and just a little bit about our network. As the school committee has heard, I'm sure, from teachers and parents or students, we've had troubles with our network. So I'm just curious to know if you can share anything about the future.
Yeah, so two of the ways to, that we're working on the network is we brought in the managed service provider who are, network gurus, and they are going to do a substantial network upgrade this summer, which we hope will mitigate a lot of the issues that we've been having. And some of the issues that we had, we're also just learning the systems. As we turned on the systems, it kind of not broke, but affected other systems. So for example, I realized that when we were asking the Logically people to put in, this is not a good thing for me to be telling the school committee, but I'm going to tell you anyway. So when they tried to put in, I noticed that when I was putting in URLs, to be unblocked, they were unblocking the whole country. So I said, I don't want the whole country unblocked. I just want, the URL. So they were like, oh, okay. I said, so block everything. They blocked everything, including the United States. So we had no internet for a day because of that. So it's not always because the network is to blame. Sometimes it is just simply human error and the different procedures and processes or programs intersecting with each other. So it's a cleanup. We're cleaning up slowly but surely. And again, I think it's just kudos to Joanne's hard work to do those two big jobs. It's just, those are two enormous jobs that she's been handling single-handedly. And so it's just kudos to her for getting us this far. And hopefully I can get us over the hurdle.
Thank you so much.
You're
Stephanie.
very welcome.
Thank you very
Oh, I'm
much.
taking this away. Hold on, I have to log myself out.
All right, committee discussions and votes to be taken. Vote to approve the music department's overnight field trip to Disney World. Thank you for including the detail on that. It looks so fun. May I have a motion to approve?
Can I ask you a question on it first?
Yes.
So I have no problem approving this. When I read it in the packet, I just noticed there was kind of one or two minor discrepancies, anywhere between 120 and 150 students, and anywhere between, I'm going to say 13 adults, a combination of teachers and chaperones, up to 30 adults. So I don't mind this. I'm just guessing that it's a function of the fact that we don't have a final number because we're waiting for the fundraising. Is that correct?
If I may, I believe it's also because it's so far in the future. We're talking about next year. We don't know yet how many musicians there are, and yes, all of that. So it's number of students, fundraising, a little bit of everything. But more than anything, I think it's participation.
Right.
Making sure we know how many students are actually going to come. So
Just curious. I'm still quite happy to approve it.
Yeah. And it's marvelous that it's so much in advance that we're receiving this. Yeah. So may I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. And vote to approve transfers and invoices. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
All opposed? Motion carries. And our student council representative, Nora.
So last Friday, the high school hosted its annual Special Olympics, and the seniors also had senior ball. There's a really great turnout for both events, and it seems like the majority of people who attended both had a great time. This is the seniors' last week of school, and during their classes this week, they will be taking finals, and finals started today and will continue until Thursday. The senior class officers organized a spirit week for the last week of school. So yesterday was Senior Citizen Day. Today was Childhood Self Day. Tomorrow is Career Day. Thursday is Whaler Wave Off Day. And Friday is Future Plan Shirt Day. On Wednesday and Thursday, the freshman class will be taking the Science MCAS, so good luck to them. And tomorrow is the district-wide chorus concert, and this will be the last chorus concert of the year. It will feature NES, NIS, CPS, and NHS chorus students. Whaler Word posted its last episode of the school year last Thursday, and next Monday, the Accidentals and Naturals will be having their annual concert for the NIS students, and this will be during school. And yesterday was a really great day for sports. Both the boys and girls lacrosse teams opened their Division IV state tournament, and they both won. The boys beat Lenox Memorial 14-2 and are now number 4 in the tournament. And the girls beat Wacona, I think that's how you say it, Wacona Regional 15-4 and are now number 8. Tomorrow, girls tennis will host Advanced Math and Science Academy at 4 p.m. at the Bacchus Lane courts, and girls lacrosse will host Manchester Essex at 4 p.m. at Vito Capizzo Stadium. And then on Thursday, boys lacrosse will host Sandwich at 4 p.m. at Vito Capizzo Stadium.
Nice. And what time is the concert tomorrow?
7.
7.
Yeah.
And I just want to add, I went to the drama club production, and it was a small audience, but they did such a great job. So, yeah, so I hope there's more of that. Subcommittee work, group report? Nothing?
policy. Do we have a policy meeting?
And we,
If I may, we had a reorganization meeting.
yes,
so
we did
that-
have a reorganization, hence our new slate. And the agenda for the next meeting.
Yes. I will certainly give you a hiring staffing update as we continue to move through the end of the year. Things are we're wrapping things up, which is good. We will appoint our clerk, which has traditionally been Katie Vidal. And the athletics department will give their annual report, the facilities department will give their annual report, and include year-end utilities usage, and that is all.
All right, great. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
And second with congratulations.
Why, thank you, sir. All in favor?
Aye.